Are you looking to take your personal finances to the next level? You're in the right place. Welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not, with your host, Joseph Sangle.
Well, welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by Fully Funded Life. My name is Joe Sangle, and we are fired up to bring you episode number
250.
Number 250. We are a quarter way to 1,000 episodes.
Wow.
And introduce yourself.
Megan Hibbard.
And what else? You going to say anything else?
Fired up for the middle of April.
There we go. It is the middle of April. It's actually, I believe, tax day, the day that everybody should have their taxes filed, since tax day was on Saturday. I think the 17th is the date. I think. And I know that we got ours filed a few days before that deadline, so that's awesome. And it was just a spectacular season. My tax documents is usually, a good ream of paper. Probably 400 pages, maybe. Maybe it's a little less than a ream, because every state I speak in is considered that I have worked in that state. So I have to file a state tax form if there are state taxes. So the state of Wyoming, don't have to. Montana, don't have to. Tennessee, don't have to. Florida, don't have to. Why? Because Texas, they don't have state income taxes. But all the others, got to file the form. And that's awesome. Then we got to file sales tax and all this stuff. It's just crazy. So it is that great time. And this month, we've been working on this one big word as the theme. What is the big theme?
Yep. So we've been talking about preparation. So how you can prepare for different things. So we talked about how you can prepare for taxes next year, how you can start preparing for Christmas, how you can prepare for holidays. So Christmas, holidays, special events is what we're going to talk about now in today's episode. So special events, they come up sometimes frequently, said Christmas.
Yes.
Sometimes, it's a special event to you, but nobody else, like your anniversary.
Yeah.
It's special to you, but the rest of the world's not saving money for your anniversary. You probably should. If you do things on your anniversary, birthdays, that kind of stuff. There's different holidays like that sprinkled throughout the year.
Yeah.
So how
we can put them all in a category of special days. There are special days. So it's very important to prepare for them, because a lot of them are repetitive every year. Every year your anniversary rolls around. Every year the birthdays roll around. Every year major holidays roll around. The problem is many people manage their finances as if they have forgotten that fundamental fact.
Yeah.
Like I just stated something that literally qualifies for the Mr. Obvious show, which is like, well,
Duh.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, duh. As they said when I was growing up, no duh. Did they ever say that at your age, or am I dating myself now?
You're not dating.
In my last year in my 40s, get fired up.
I always say, like, thanks for the news flash, Tom. See you at 11.
There we go. I like it. That's good. I like it. So anyhow, that's that you stated the obvious. We just stated the obvious, but it is very important, because financially, most people function with their finances in a lack of preparedness. And just like the government says you should have an emergency plan, if there's a tornado, hazardous weather, this is what you should do. You should have a family gathering point. You should have a certain amount of water, a certain amount of things if you lose your power, that sort of stuff. You should do the same thing with your finances. Be prepared. And so I'm in Boy Scouts. That's the Scout motto, be prepared. And so today we're helping you be prepared by planning for all these things, by preparing for summer vacation, all those special days. So how do we help them do that, Megan?
Yes.
Kick us off.
Yep. So first we need to start by identifying all of the holidays and special events that you know of. So maybe you do this on your phone. Maybe you do it on a sheet of paper if you like to write things out. But writing out all of the major holidays, all of the special days, anniversaries, birthdays, different things that you're going to want to spend money on, different things that something will occur. So maybe for your birthdays, you have a tradition of you do something instead of getting a gift. Well, that something still costs money, so you still need to save for it. Maybe you have this amount of money set aside for Christmas, so you need to make sure you're saving for that each month. And so just finding all of the holidays, all the special events, those special days that you're saving for, write them all out, the date, just so that you are aware, okay, here is a starting point. Here's where we're starting.
So some tips are to look at your bank account for the last year, your credit card statement. What did you spend money on? Oh, yeah, that was a special day. Look at your calendar. Look ahead for the next year, month by month. If you use iCal on your phone, you use Google Calendar, whatever you use for your planning, then you can identify these. And you're not going to get them all. You're going to forget some when you first start here, but you're going to identify them. And the next step is to figure out how much you're going to spend on those. Like, how much are you going to spend on Christmas? A lot of people are confused by the fact that you can set a number for Christmas. Like, they're like, well, it just is what it is. You know, I just find the thing that fits and all. No,
It's not.
False. You're going to put together a list. We have a Christmas mini budget. Every single individual and entity that you're going to purchase something for, put your Christmas cards and Christmas tree and all that on there too. And you're going to put a number next to every name. You know, every number has a name, and every name matters to God. I've heard that a lot at church. Every number has a name. Every name matters to God, right? And what I like to say is every name has a number, and every number matters to my budget. Can we use that? Is that wrong?
I think it's okay.
Like if I'm buying, like we give out cash and prizes at Christmas, and your name is on the list,
It's great.
and I put a number next to your name.
Hopefully it's a big number.
Does that drive you nuts that I said not a penny more, right? It's this number.
You
right?
do the infinity sign.
I do. I do the infinity sign for Megan. Yes, infinity looks mysteriously like a fixed number. Okay. So, but the fact is, there's a fixed number, and I do that for all of our staff. I do that for my family members that I'm buying a gift for, and some people, you know, they just get a zero. They just get a zero. Is it okay to get a zero next to someone?
Yes.
Yes. It's not that I don't like them. It's just that there's only so far that the budget goes, and I'm just not buying a gift for, you know, my third cousin, fourth removed.
Yeah.
I don't
you
even know if
just
that's the
can't.
thing. I made that up.
I'm not sure.
So, but I am going to spend money on Christmas. I am going to spend it on special days. And once I've identified the list of things and I've got a number next to it, then it's time for the next decision as we prepare. What is that?
Yeah, so you're figuring out if it goes into your Qs, so your known upcoming non-monthly expenses, or is it a monthly budget item? So is it enough where you can fold it into your monthly budget and afford it? You know, so for example, one thing that we do now, Logan's in preschool, and so we have different events that we have to save for. So like he had an Easter egg hunt at school. So we had to provide Easter eggs for all the kids so they could have their Easter egg hunt. Not a big deal. You know, it's less than $10. That's something that I can fold into my monthly budget that I'm able to handle for a month, you know? But Christmas, not able to handle that in my monthly budget. Must save for.
Right.
That.
So that's really important. I'm going to show you a video, and then we're going to share it actually. You'll hear the audio if you're listening to it, but I do encourage you to go to YouTube and watch this. But this is our nephew of ours. And one of the things we have a tradition for our nephews and nieces is we have brand new $1 bills, brand new, not ever in circulation. And we tape them across the top of the card. And they know that the card from Aunt Jen and Uncle Joe it's got money, and it's a curtain of money. So I just want to share this just to show the delight. They know what's in the card. So let's share it. And he runs off. Yeah, he knew that she was going to take some of it to put and give and some to put and save, you know? And he was like, no. And so he burned out of there. But did you see that curtain of money? And so that's $21 bills,
oh, wow.
right? And so they get $20. And it's funny, my wife's uncle did this for her, and a great uncle. And she's carrying on the tradition, and the kids just love it. So, but it's $20. So in $20 in our budget, that's a monthly expense. Like we don't need to put that in our known upcoming non-monthly expenses and save for it every paycheck. But Christmas, the same as you. Yeah. If we're doing something special for our anniversary, like a trip. So I remember for one of our anniversaries, I chose to go to Napa and Sonoma. So we flew to San Francisco, rented a car, and we went all in the wine country, and we went to the redwoods, the coastal redwoods across the Golden Gate Bridge. Well, that was more than a monthly budget could accommodate, even though I got the plane ride for free.
Yeah.
You know, the rest just didn't come out too free. And so that was a known upcoming expense that we had to save for. We've had other anniversary days where we're like, hey, we blew it out last year. And so, you know, it's not a round number. It's not a 5 at the end of it. So, you know, maybe we're going to tone it down. That could be a monthly number.
Yeah.
So that's the important thing as our, as our listeners are doing this. I really encourage you to think about it. If at all possible, fit it in your monthly budget. It's much easier. But if you do that, what I encourage you to do is to do something I have done, which is to become a super duper budgeter. And a super duper budgeter is where you have every monthly budget for 12 months out. So every month when I finish that month and I sit down to prepare a budget for the next month, I add a new month at the end. So if I'm sitting here in April, wrapping up April, looking at May, well, then I'm going to copy this April that I just finished. I'm going to copy that line because the birthdays are still in that month, the special days, Christmas, whatever, if it's December. And I'm going to copy that over and place it at the end. And that reminds me, hey, this birthday is in that month. It's already in there. Now, numbers could change and all that, but I'm always looking ahead a year, and I'm copying this April to the next April, this May to the next May, because I'm wanting to make sure that I don't miss those things that I should have known about. And by copying the previous year of that exact same month, I usually don't miss things.
Yeah. So as we're talking about it, some of you might be thinking like, oh, well, that definitely makes sense. Like, I haven't done that. So is there a moment that you feel like you've blown it, where you've gotten to that moment and hadn't necessarily prepared for it, or you forgot it? Hopefully it wasn't an anniversary or a birthday of your wife. But, you know, you did it anyway. Or maybe for some of our listeners, this is you got to that moment. You were like, oh no, I didn't prepare. I forgot about it. Now you feel like you have to go in debt to make said special day.
Absolutely. And I'm going to do something I've never done on the podcast before. I'm going to leave the podcast and I'm going to bring something to show you.
He is going to get something.
You can watch it on YouTube. I'm leaving.
He's leaving. Luckily, his office is right there. Well, he's entered his office, and I hate to tell you this, but he is not the tidiest of individuals. So he could be in there for a while looking for whatever he's looking for.
I'm back. This is Joe and Jen spending when we were broke for 3 years from the 90s.
Oh, the 90s.
Oh, yeah. And this is 2002, but this right back here is another year. And do you notice this balance? Look at these balances here. Do you see these balances? Notice there's parentheses around there. Do you know what that means? Negative balance.
Not good.
Yeah, I got a $4,060 tax refund.
You're still negative.
And I went negative. I transferred some to savings and went negative. I don't know what that means. That seems really weird. But like, look at it. Negative. I mean, here I am. I'm not in the negative.
We've entered the positive. Oh, no, you went back.
I'm back negative at the very end when I made my car payment of $359.96. I've got some student loans here. I don't even know what that is. That's a credit card. I had a mortgage payment, and I don't know what that's Bell South. That's my long distance.
Wow.
So, and I went to Pizza Buffet. Look at that. 2 people ate for $7.95, and that included tip.
That's amazing.
Wow. But here's what I would just say. Have I ever went to debt for special days? Well, let's go to June 7th and see if I did. So this is kind of fun. Maybe we could take a picture of a couple of these pages and just show the dysfunction. Okay, my wife wrote in here.
Oh.
So my wife spent money that wasn't planned for my piano to be tuned. That was my gift. Unplanned, and it went in the negative. Cost $125, and there we go in the negative again. And she wrote it in there. She wrote in that it's negative. She went to the glazing pot and then to Walmart and then bought gas in Greenville for $17.
Oh, my.
17 whole dollars.
That's amazing.
And then we went to Rich's. I don't know what that is. And then I did 3 $20 withdrawals in the cash machine at the business that we had 500 employees in the manufacturing facility that had an ATM there. So the answer to the question, have I ever blown it? What would you say to our audience?
Yes.
Yes. Have you ever seen this book before?
Yes.
Have I ever showed you've heard of it?
I've seen
Have you
it.
actually looked at the individual expenses before?
Not the individual.
Look at this. I actually gave up tracking the balance here for
no
good
balance.
periods of time. And the dots mean that I've reconciled it, that it's cleared the bank account. Okay? So bottom line is, yeah, I've blown it.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, I distinctly remember one of the moments as I was starting to get my finances in order where I blew it because I really wanted it. And it was great. And I bought Jen it was the second generation iPod. And I had a treasure hunt in the house where go to this area and there was a next clue and the next clue and the next clue. And it led her back to the living room and on our CD rack.
Oh, you're
of
dating
our
yourself
CDs,
now.
it was hidden in there. The box was just sitting there in plain sight, but she hadn't seen it. And it was awesome. It had a little 1 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch screen and a little wheel that you could have.
I
We
love
still
the
have
wheel.
it to this
You can
day.
hear it click.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was white with a silver back. Apple knew how to design some things, but I blew it up.
Yeah.
And I felt bad about that, but I didn't feel bad about celebrating,
Yeah.
that moment.
So for our listeners, would you say it is okay to go into debt for special days?
No. Well, look, I've done it. So sure, go ahead and do it. But if you want to win with your money, and if your spouse is on board with winning with money, we really encourage you not to,
Yeah.
or certainly don't do that very often.
Yeah.
Or
you come from the other angle. Is it okay to use money from retirement for said special days?
Yes, you can use money from retirement for the special day known as retirement. Other than that,
when you said yes, I was like, wait, what?
you should not use retirement money, for anything else. You really shouldn't. It's actually called retirement money because it is for retirement. And a lot of people have a belief, hey, it's my money, I should use it. But I would just say to you, that is seed money. And if you look at any compound interest table of what that's worth in 10, 20, 15 years from now, man, you're really just robbing yourself. It's like paying, 40, 50, 60% interest by pulling that out after you pay the fees, the penalties, and the taxes to get it out of there.
Yeah. So now we're going to take another step. So we've talked about a lot of days that you are currently thinking of, so that are happening currently. So this year you will have birthdays. This year you will have an anniversary. This year you will have Christmas. All of these things that are currently happening. But there are also these other expenses that you should be saving for that are not occurring now, but might be occurring in the future. So an example for me, I might want to one day buy Logan a car or help buy a car or
Right.
I don't know. And I also have 2 other kids.
He doesn't have a job yet. He's 4. Come on.
Yeah. But that's something that in my mind right now is not necessarily on the forefront because he is 4.
Right.
But when he turns 16, if I have not thought about it, then it will be too late.
Don't blink.
Yeah.
12 years goes by really fast.
Ugh.
Right? So here's the fact. My neighbors right now, it's interesting watching them. Their daughter's getting married at their house.
Oh, wow.
And
That's going to be beautiful.
it's going to be beautiful. And let me tell you right now, I've seen the preparation that's going into it. It's going to be phenomenal, but it's also going to it's costing them some money. They've repainted their house. I think their house is like 9 years old. I've seen them repaint the whole house. They're paying for people to come help mow and weed and feed the giant yard and all that stuff because, they want it to look spectacular. And it makes mine look real bad. Like, I feel like I need to put...
They're going to start paying
like
the
a camo
landscapers to come to your yard.
curtain. Yeah, that's right. I'm like, hey, drive a little close to the fence so some of it gets in my yard, that weed and feed. But here's what I would just say. They've saved for that. They've prepared for that. And it's really important. You want to be able to celebrate special days. Your son getting his driver's license. You want to be able to celebrate a child getting married. You want to celebrate those days without it putting you in the poorhouse or without regret. And the way that you can do that is by looking at these things that are happening within the year and the things that are happening into the future. Replacing of a car, redoing a kitchen, landscaping the yard, building a little outbuilding, whatever it is. that thing that you have that you desire to fund, that holiday, that special event, that project, looking at it, and now that becomes a Q expense, a known upcoming monthly expense, and managing the rest as monthly bills. That preparatory activity ensures that those moments are awesome. Like I got to show the picture of my nephew, Nolan, with his card, and I don't feel any financial agony that $20 left us. None at all. Why? Because we planned for it, and it's awesome to get the video of him loving it and running off with it, which is awesome.
Yeah. So maybe you are at this part is funny to me. So I feel like only at Christmas do people get cars for like gifts. You don't really see it, at your birthday. I'm sure it happens, but maybe that's something that you want to do. So this could be another example. Maybe you want to give your spouse a car for their birthday or for Christmas or for a big anniversary, 25 years. You probably should have like the conversation ahead of time. Just like,
what car do they like?
It's okay.
Their dream car.
This might happen at some point down the road.
Don't finance it, hopefully.
But what if you want to do that for their 25th anniversary and you're at year 21?
You got 4 years.
Probably time to start.
Take that amount that it costs, divide it by 4 years by 12 months, so 48 months, and save it every month.
So big expenses can occur.
Yeah.
Things can happen. Big trips. So San Francisco, I've been to San Francisco too. Like it's a great thing to do if you like San Francisco. Maybe you want to go somewhere else. But making sure that you're saving for it, you're preparing for it. Each month, if it's a large expense, make it a Q expense, or if it can wrap it into your monthly budget.
Yeah. So, this is the Monday Money Tip podcast. This is the tip. Identify as you're driving, as you're exercising right now, kind of make a mental list and have the moment where you actually sit down, write them out on your phone, write them out on this page, on a piece of paper, put a number next to every one of them, and make the determination, hey, do I need to save for these in the budget each month, pay for them, or do I need to save for them every single paycheck as a known upcoming non-monthly expense? We'll have a link to our known upcoming expense calculator, a link to a mini budget tool. Those resources will be greatly helpful to you. One of the things that we like to do with Fully Funded Life is to be able to provide coaching in this area, this arena, so that we can help all of our members be able to celebrate these special moments with no financial remorse. And that's what this is all about. So, hey, if you're not a member of Fully Funded Life, we encourage you to check it out, fullyfunded.life, fullyfunded.life. And I think you'll be so glad that you joined. If you do join, make sure you sign up to meet with a coach right away. That's how you can get the most out of your membership and really help you make progress towards your fully funded life. Any last words you want to share today?
Yeah. In Fully Funded Life, we have a whole course on Qs. We have a whole course on mini budgets, how to save for your vacation, how to do this, how to do that. So we break it down. If you are like, I need more help on this, or I need more help on how to save for Qs. Like we have courses that are able to break that down and walk you through how to do it, the benefits of it, all of that stuff. So it's great.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much. Have a great Monday, a great week, and we'll see you next week with our final preparatory podcast. Get fired up.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review and subscribe. And for more great content and to stay up to date, visit iwbnin.com. We'll catch you next time.